Well, we're learning more about that crazy story about the NAACP leader, of course, who is white, was born white, but who pretended to be black for a number of years. Well, now it turns out her adopted black brother, she had told him for a number of years, don't blow my cover. Don't tell anyone that I'm actually white. I want to keep this going for as long as I can.
Absolutely. Yeah. She had moved away from home over to Spokane, Washington, and as a result was trying to recreate a new life.
Welcome back to Fox and Friends on this Sunday morning. What do you think is going to pull it out tonight?
I got to say, the Warriors are back at home, and they had a big win last night in Game 4. And if Steph Curry's shooting well,
it's been exciting to watch.
I think LeBron was crying after Game 4. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah. So we know you're a big basketball fan. Yeah, but you went to Princeton? Tell me about that experience.
I did. I went to Princeton. I did play basketball there. I sat on the bench, actually. But I did our OTC. That's how I went to the military. But I was also a journalist there. I ran the conservative publication on campus called the Princeton Tory, which was the conservative magazine. And
so were you welcome with open arms as a conservative on campus?
When people come up to me and they see me and say, I knew you in college, I say, did you like me or hate me? Here, absolutely.
All right, let me tell you about the headlines this morning, what you missed while you were sleeping.
Can't beat that.
And you could hear, her voice careening down the caverns of New York City down here as people are gathering on Flag Day. So a beautiful morning out there, and thanks to them. And it's the 240th birthday of the Army.
It was 240 years ago, 1775, General George Washington. Think about that.
And today is Flag Day, so we all fly our flags proudly.
It's good news for people that are getting married this weekend, because a new study out this morning shows that it is actually really good for your health. In fact, dramatically so. They analyzed a lot of married couples for a long time. This isn't just some fly-by-night study.
Had an 11-year-old locked out of his house. His parents were not home, so he played in the yard. Now that kid put in foster care. Parents charged with a felony. Does this go way too far? We report, you decide. But they do, actually.
They do, yeah. I don't know what. Maybe it's the heat. I'm not sure. Well, an 11-year-old boy was locked out of his house. He had come home, and he couldn't get into the house. So he grabbed his basketball. He's 11 years old. He goes in the backyard. He plays basketball for like 90 minutes. Well, the neighbors notice that he's been out there for a long time. They call police. This morning is, do these charges go too far?
Doesn't it remind you of that story in Maryland, the free-range parents? They want their kids to go out and learn to be on their own and be autonomous and go play in the park.
It's unbelievable. Free-range childhood, you might call it.
And people say, we're living in violent times, and it's we're more difficult times now. In fact, the facts don't actually bear that out. In fact, it was more violent, scarier in the 1970s, 1960s, when people were rolling around their backyards. You had way higher incidents of violence and kidnapping in this country than you do right now.
What you need to do is leave a key with your neighbor. Jeannie Saunders lived across the street from us. We knocked on her door at least once a week to say, Mrs. Saunders, can we have the key? We're locked out again.
And unless there's more to this story, how is that not the first reaction of the neighbor? To go and say, hey, can I help you? Come on in, watch some TV in my house, not call the cops on the parents.
Maybe it's the neighbor's problems, not the parents' problems.
It's all about neighborhoods.
Well, we did have some guests on the show earlier, some lawyers on the show who said, look, in our experience, there's more to this story. That you don't take kids away from the family unless there's something else there underlying. But let us know your thoughts on this. Friends@foxnews.com. You can weigh in on our Twitter stream as well at FF Weekend.
Yeah, it's an escapee similar to this. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So what is going on? Now that we've been following this, we thought these guys were long gone, maybe in Mexico, maybe Canada, but now it's turning out the bloodhounds are sniffing them around that area. You think they're still there? Good job. Thanks, Steve, for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Well, they were put on the government's no-fly list when they don't have a partner.
That's true.
So we ask what you think, Nathan.
Yeah, there is. And Ralph, we love you because you're watching Fox and Friends this morning, so we wish you all the best. I think you're right. A lot of people choose not to be married and are just as happy.
They live very happy lives, absolutely.
So, all right, myth number one, that flags cannot be reused if laid over a coffin.
So a lot of us, a flag is not supposed to touch the ground, and if it does, what do you do when it touches the ground? If it gets ripped or it gets dirty, can you fly it again?
Yes.
Another myth, the blue field of the flag is always in the upper left-hand corner. The blue field is on the right-hand corner if on a person's clothing or on a vehicle.
Right.
Or an inclement weather. Is that okay?
It is okay. You're supposed to illuminate it at night. we're 100% behind that, but we also want you to fly the flag. At an inclement weather, as long as you're flying a flag that's made out of nylon or rayon with
Hours on Flag Day. Thank you so much for being here, giving us the knowledge we can all use as we display the flag. And you're from Post 2001, which is on the Intrepid here in New York City.
Yes,
a very cool location for American Legion Post. John, thanks very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Hillary Clinton rebooting her campaign by attacking the rich. Hillary Clinton taking to the stage, slamming Republicans and Wall Street in her first major campaign rally.
Great. She's made a lot of money from Wall Street. The Clintons have made a heck of a lot of money from Wall Street. So can she have it both ways? Give a speech like this and then sort of walk away from Wall Street?
I think
Crusader, or is she behind them?
And the fact is we have no idea. Knee deep in them right now.
Can we expect more of the same? I mean, you see how many individuals are on welfare now under President Obama. Can we expect more of that if Hillary Clinton is elected?
It seems that way.
It starts in about 14 minutes right here on the Fox News channel. Who do you have on today's show?
McChrystal to talk about those events in Iraq. Is it a real surge or not? He's going to be able to answer that question.
Correct, exactly. Looking forward to it.
So Maria, Pete and Clayton, grab your axes. Who will win the rematch?